Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, the only team that is getting smoked today is Manchester United. Look, Edwin is not here, but I'm joined today by NK. And NK watched the game just like me. It was a painful experience. And I can't say that I'm surprised. I'm sure NK ain't surprised. You'll hear from him in a second anyway. It's just one of those things where, obviously, because you know it's coming, it doesn't make it any easier watching a performance that we put up today. I mean, you know, we saw Manchester United just give up. Like, we've given up for a while. Today is just another example of how poor it is. You know, 9-0 across the two legs against Liverpool. Not one goal. You know, it's probably going to be our worst season ever in Premier League history, in our history, in terms of our lowest points tally. But NK, what's your thoughts on the game, man? What's your thoughts on what you saw? You still process?
I don't know. I don't know where to begin, you know. I don't know where to begin because, I mean, before the game, as a United fan, like, that's how bad it felt. None of us, you know, we're just talking about scoreline like, oh, they're gonna beat us 6-0, they're gonna beat us 5-0, whatever it is. But you know, it's stuff that we say as a joke. Yes, we say all of that, but when the whistle blow, you expect differently, you know. I will start with the what do you call it, the lineup and the formation. When the formation came out, it looked like we were going to play a back five, you know, like a what do you call it, a 5-3-2, you know, with Rashford and Langa up front. He dropped Telles to play Delors left back. But when I saw that, the first thing I thought to my head was that, you know what, if this was Oli, I will have confidence of us gain something out of this game. But because it's rough, yeah, I do not trust us gain anything from this game. And the minute the what do you call it, the whistle went, that thing came through. Look, the first goal, because to me, that's where the game got lost. The first goal. If you're gonna play a back five, which we all know is a defensive formation, why then instruct your guys to press high up the pitch? You know these guys cannot do that. You came in there against what do you call it, Crystal Palace. They done it for 30 minutes. Ever since that, we have not been able to do that. So why then instruct them to play, what do you call it, to press high up the pitch? And that pressing too, it was just like the worst pressing ever because these guys cannot do that. You go and look at that goal and go look at the position. I mean, a lot of people are going to say, oh, you know what, it's Harry Maguire's fault, you know, because he moved out of his position. But he was not the only guy in a position, bro. Matic was, you go, this is, fans, it's the fourth minute, and almost all our players are in the Liverpool half. All of them. Matic was literally there. Harry Maguire was almost next to the halfway line. Wan-Bissaka was standing just there. It was the worst defending that you could do. We all know. I could tell you, you go there, you want to get anything like that, park the bus.
I feel like the five at the back gave us a false sense of belief in terms of our defensive side, our defensive element being secure. Because when these guys are pressing out the pitch, it left us obviously, left us exposed because one thing, like you said, we're not good at it. So when we're pressing high up the pitch, and you're pressing like that, it leaves us vulnerable. Like, you see certain teams that are good at it. They're committing to that high press, they're committing to that press, but more time they're winning that ball. We are terrible. 9 times out of 10, yeah, Bruno, when he's pressing, he's not winning that ball. On an odd occasion, he'll win the ball, but more time he's not winning that ball.
They don't do nothing. You see the goal. Harry Maguire in a back three, that the guy should never, ever be in that position. Never, bro. If everybody is in that shape here, where Harry Maguire was going to be, that's where Matic is going to be. But meanwhile, Matic is all the way halfway down the line, doing what? Literally doing what? And for the whole game, whole game, but because you know what, after the first goal, I wasn't even watching the game last night. I wasn't watching the ball. I was watching the team shape. Basaka, I didn't know whether the guy was playing as a what do you call it, a right back, a DM, or as a winger, bruv. He was so high up the pitch, bruv. I didn't know whether his instruction was to man mark, what do we call it, Robinson, bruv. It was atrocious, bruv. How do you play a back five and Liverpool have so much joy on the wings, bruv? What's the point of playing a back five if they're going to be receiving the ball on the wings like that, bruv?
It was so narrow.
Call for, bruv.
It was so narrow.
It's uncalled for, bruv. It's just the worst, literally coaching tactics I've seen, bruv. You cannot tell me any other way, bruv.
I ain't gonna lie, NK. I ain't gonna lie, yeah. I think like I think that we've got worse since Ralph Ragnick come. Like I know we're all gassed, but I think we've got worse. I think Ollie was actually better. It's funny, the grass ain't always green. I think Ollie was actually better. Ralph Ragnick, right? And it goes to show Ralph Ragnick hasn't been in the game for a very long time in terms of managing a team. And obviously came with all the talk, and we were brought into it as fans. We brought into it. We brought into the idea of, oh yes, we know a guy that knows his football, can speak well, is media trained. But in reality, we're worse. We're worse for it. Ralph Ragnick's come and we're worse. He's breaking new records that haven't even been broken. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And look, we're crawling over the line. We're literally crawling over the line right about now to try and hope, you know, that this season can end and us be in a respectable position or whatever it is. But
apparently, Ralph don't do the coaching, you know. He let those MLS guy does it. That MLS guy that we got a coach here, well, he was worse than the MLS, but guy was literally worse than the MLS, but you know, he used to be an assistant here. When he became a manager, he got sacked after like 3-4 months, bruv. And then he's actually literally in charge of coaching his team, bruv. As a coaching unit, yeah, and Oli, they were better, bruv. Carrick, McKenna, and everyone that was there, bruv, man. Now we've gone from there to some kind of like reject from like MLS, bruv, man. It's just atrocious, bruv, man.
The whole team's given up. The whole team's given up. And what I noticed today is like hunger. Bruno's got hunger, but he's just misplaced. Like he does a lot of running. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He plays for the badge. I can see that, but he hasn't been effective over these last few months. Like he hasn't been as effective. He hasn't been a Bruno that we know, but he plays for the badge. Alanga, he plays for the badge. Hannibal Mabry that they brought on was doing more running than most players on this pitch. He was playing for the badge. The one thing I noticed about Alanga and Hannibal Mabry is the fact that they're hungry, they're fresh, they come from the youth system, they've got something to prove. And we saw that in their performances today. Alanga's been a consistent performer for us since he's got his opportunity. Hannibal Mabry, he came on, fired a couple of guys, boom, 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 boom. It was scaring me a bit because I thought he was going to get a red, but he was treating that game as a derby, as a rivalry game. A lot of these guys don't care. They're not treating it like that.
You know, that's the second part too, you know. I mean, in order to win football games, one is always like the tactics matter too. But after that too, the next thing is that intensity, you know. You need players to have like intensity and everything just like that too. And they don't have it. And that's what I'm just trying to tell you. Like these players, naturally, they don't have that kind of like aggressiveness inside them. Even when it comes to like pressing 50, we lost all the 50-50 balls. Literally every 50-50 ball we lost it, bro. They were getting badged off the field like their life didn't depend on it, you know? So that is something that also needs to change. I know Ralph talked about the aggressive side of it from that, the interview that he done, and they're asking like, okay, even if you don't have that, then what are you going to have to do? Sometimes I said to you, as a manager, you need to understand your players' like strength and weakness. And if you know they don't have certain stuff here, you set the team up to just literally let them do that, you know? And the way like they have been setting us, like the way we are playing right now, it bring out more of their weakness than their strength. Because when you set up this way, you asking players to kind of like press and stuff like that. If naturally they're not aggressive enough or they don't play with intensity, this kind of like weakness is going to get exposed, and that's what you kind of like see. Guys like say Ilanga and what do you call it, Medri, they are kind of like naturally you can tell that they are very aggressive kind of like guys, and you're going to see that kind of like aggressiveness in them, no matter what kind of like team they go into. So that's what it is, but man, but.
No,
I don't know, but
I saw a golfing class today, and looking at it, I just saw how long it's going to take for us to get back to even seriously putting up a fight, let alone getting any points from a team like Liverpool in the future. The job that we've got to do is massive because we all know that we can't clear out. Man United don't operate in a way where we can clear out all of the first team like that and do a Chelsea. It's going to take a long time. The class that I saw from Mane, where he put in that ball, where he wasn't even looking, it felt like it was FIFA.
That goal was class. That goal was class.
They scored another goal where most of the team touched the ball outside of Van Dijk, maybe. The whole team had a touch on the ball, and I think Salah or something went and put it in.
The third goal too. You saw the third goal. Lindelof go all the way high up the pitch and literally just misplaced a simple pass back. Simple guy just gave you away, bro.
Just gives it away. What do you call it? Our fridge of a defender, Maguire, gives the ball, passes the ball to Hannibal. Hannibal obviously gets pressured off, but it was a pass that he probably didn't even need to give at that position at that point in the pitch.
That player, what is he doing in a right back position, bro?
Hannibal.
What is he doing in a right back position, bro? This is what I'm saying. Coaching. What is he doing in a right back position, bro?
It's all right back.
He just literally came on like a minute to go. Why is he in a right back position, bro? What was the instructions there? Obviously, he didn't find it by luck to be there. You know.
I think the positioning
after the game. You know what Mo Salah said?
What's that?
He said, they asked him why he scored so many goals. He said that, you know what, we enjoy it because like when you play like their midfield, make it easy that you have one-on-one. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to have one-on-one like that. If an attack have one-on-one against defense here, they are always gonna come on top, buff. It's never supposed to happen, buff. Never, buff.
Especially
time and time again, buff. Time and time again.
Look, it's mad. I think all of the. I mean, I can't complain. I can't complain with how it went down because it could have been worse. I just feel like when you look at the team and look at the state of it, I mean, if you look at who was playing, Pogba's obviously committed to leaving. He got a little niggle. He went off injured. Fans are questioning whether he was injured. I was questioning whether he was injured. Did he wave the white flag and say, do you know what? I don't want to be scapegoated. I don't want to be part of this. Let me just, let me not like to say we're injured, but could he have played through it? Could he have tried to run it off? Do you know what I mean? Like, how much time did he give? It just makes you feel like he didn't. Look, it's a derby. It's a derby. It's regardless, right? It's the biggest game of your season. Like Everton. Certain time when you see Everton play Liverpool, it don't matter how their season's going, but they're going to make sure that day game against Liverpool, they're going to give it all their all. I'm just thinking, did Pogba really give it his all? I'm not trying to scapegoat Pogba or any other player, but I'm just like, did he try his hardest to stay on a pitch? Did he? I don't know. And this is the fault that this is where Man United fans are at. You're looking at that. You're looking at guys and you're just thinking, guys don't want to be a part of this team. Cavani.
He knew.
Cavani don't want to be a part
of this team. It was going to be a long day, Bob. He knew it was. As I said to you, he knew it was going to be a long day. As a player, when you go there, look, we are there. Some of us, like me, as some fans, some of us has played football before. Some haven't. Some play FIFA. You play what do you call it? FM, whatever it is. We know tactics play a key role, but man. And once the tactics is not there, you are in for a long, long day if you get it right, but man. He's sorry, but man. He's sorry. He just knew that. Look, the way we are playing today is gonna be a battering, but man. I am going to have to do so many jobs that I am not ready. And especially when I've been abused over the weekend, where people are telling me to F off and stuff like that, I am not going to be the scapegoat again. Because if we lose 4-0, they would stop looking at the other stuff that made us lose and they will point fingers at me because obviously I'm the easy target.
Scapegoat,
but you know what? Let me just go chill there, bro. Let me go chill there.
It's sad with Man United. When you look at Man United, we're always a side of two halves, right? Sometimes it's less than that. And on this occasion, we probably had like maybe 10 minutes or so. In the second half, we started well, right? We came out firing. I don't know. I was thinking, you know what, Ralph Ragnick's got these guys motivated or somehow because we came out in the second half. Like, I saw Sancho getting a bit of joy on the left-hand side. Do you know what I mean? He's taking on players for a few times, running at guys. And then I see Sancho and I'm looking up and I'm thinking, bro, like, there's no support. I see only maybe like Rashford there. There's no other support. And even with Rashford there, I don't see him busting enough to create space for himself, to create an angle for Sancho to pass into. Like, I don't see him making a run to drag defenders away to create space, and I don't see him trying to make a off the ball run where Sancho could find it. He was just dead. Do you know what I mean? And I was just looking. This is time and time again. Yeah, when I look at Liverpool attack, when I look at these teams attack, even Ten Hag, these guys have got like 3-4 man in the box, 5 man at times in the box, waiting to receive that ball, trying to get on the other end of it, bro. When you're dealing with Van Dijk 1-on-1 against, not even that 3-on-1 against Rashford, 4-1 against Rashford, or one strike, whoever it is, Ronaldo, whoever. Shout out to Ronaldo as well, and condolences to him. I'm just thinking, bro, there's no point, bro. This is why we're not scoring enough goals, bro, because the off the ball work rate is dead. I'm looking at Rashford a couple of times. He got an opportunity to get into the box over the ball, over the defense. Sort of, we done that long ball. He's touched. Dead. Do you understand? Dead. And I'm just like, you know what? I remember I was telling you about Rashford in one of the games that we played. I can't remember who it was now. Was it City or whatever? And I was just like, you know what? I don't even care if Rashford plays. Like, I know he's got the pace. But fam, his end product is so dead, it's so washed that, bro, I could understand why Ralph Ragnick decided to play Bruno Fernandes and Pogba up top, or as a false 9 or whatever it is, because Rashford just gives us zilch, bro. Like, you're better off playing Elanga up there. You're better off, like, I don't know. It's just something needs to change.
I remember, what do you call it? The game against Leicester, when we play Bruno and Pogba up top. I was very critical of, like, Ralph, because I think that game Ronaldo was out injured too, and I was very critical of Ralph, because I said, like, oh, you know, we should have played Rashford at least, because he can kind of like give us that in behind kind of like run and everything like that. Today he got that and he was very poor with that. Literally very poor. And I feel like that justifies why he didn't start against Leicester. Today too, just done the same thing too. Today, very poor. Very, 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 very poor from him, man. It's getting to the point where I'm just literally starting to kind of like question him. You know, I'm just literally like, first you can put it down to fitness, but now it's not even down to fitness no more, man. Like, it's like his fitness, his confidence. It's look like it's just too many stuff, but my mental block, whatever it is, I don't know, but it's starting to be very, very, very concerning. Like, the more you see him on the pitch, the more you get concerned to feel like, what is going on with this guy? You know, what is going on with this guy? Because we know he could do it. He done it like a few seasons ago. But right now, compared to like what we're seeing, it's not even 50% of what he used to do. It's not even 50%. It's like it's so bad, man.
I saw, with Fernando Torres back in the days for Liverpool, when he made that switch, and it was just like that.
It looked like that. It looked like that.
You look at Sanchez when he came to Man United. Gone.
It looked like that. It's like that movie that them cartoon characters go and take the basketball players' powers off them. I forgot the name of it. That's how I feel like, you know. I feel like someone came and took like his footballing ability from him, because it looks shocking, man. You know, a few weeks ago I was just thinking like, you know, maybe if Tim Hag comes, he's gonna just kind of like sort him out, because he'll be able to play a system where if he will end up in positions where he doesn't have to do too much. But today he going to some positions to like you feel like, you know what, this is you, just do it, man. And he couldn't do it. And
remember that chance where he was onside? I don't know if he thought he was onside, but he was onside, and I think it was like a one-on-one opportunity. He just fluffed that as well.
It's very worrying, and it's not just him too. It's most of the players. It's most of the players. Today, as I said, I remember Saka, for example. Yes, I feel like the instructions they gave him made it look like he was like in no man's land all the time. I feel like he was just in no man's land for the whole game, because the instructions that they gave him too. But even him, when he goes up there and the guy was jogging back. He was literally jogging back, and as a fan and even as a manager, you don't want to see that, bro. You do not want to see your team under attack and the guy jogging back, bro. It's like, I am jogging, and this is your defensive cover, you know, and he's jogging, thinking like, I am jogging because it's not my responsibility. He played like as if like he's a striker. When you go up there, run back, bro. And he's just jogging, bro, man. So I don't know what it is, but Something in this club has just poisoned all the players, bruv. Work ethic is bad, intensity is bad, tactics is bad. You cannot take no positive, absolutely no positive from the film, bruv, man.
It's interesting though. If you look at it, it's just like, if it is true, right, and Ralph Ragnick is not coaching this club, then who are we relying on? An MLS guy standard to coach this club, right? Or whoever it is, Fletcher, whoever. Before that, it was Oli, right? Yeah, Carrick or whoever again, and all of these guys. I think the only thing I would say is, if it's true that Ralph Ragnick is not coaching this club, and before that was Oli, then I've got some hope. I've got a little bit of hope with Ten Hag, because he's actually a good coach. Like, you can see what he's doing, and he's actually going to show. Because right now we're nothing. We're not giving anything. Right now we're just minus. Right. If Ten Hag comes in, right, we can all now say, do you know what? There's clear evidence that Ten Hag with Ajax was getting the best out of them. He was coaching them. He was punching above his weight at times in Champions League with Ajax. And you know what? He's managed recently for one. He's won titles recently, even though it isn't Eredivisie, or what do you call it, Dutch League, recently for one. None of which our previous two managers has done.
Well, and you know what? And that's what it is, Bob, man. Like, you look at the coaching aspect of it, and you know what? That's what I feel like. That's what I think as a fan base we are kind of like excited about it, because the last few managers, and I will go all the way back to Jose, because remember Jose too. Once his assistant left here, that team never looked the same again. Yes, they are managers, but they're not coaches, so they rely on the people that coach the team for them. And if they don't get that coaching appointment right here, that is when the problem comes. They got an idea what they want to play. Ralph got an idea what he want to play. We all know that because he's influenced so many people about how he want to play. Oli probably had an idea how he want to play too. Jose had an idea how he want to play, but their coaching, they rely on certain coaches to pass these ideas onto the players. And I feel like that's where they kind of feel. Jose, like, he had a trusted kind of a thing. When he left, he brought Carrick and McKenna to replace them when that coaching went. And they just didn't understand how he wanted them to coach the players. So that went wrong too. Oli came on and Oli left the responsibility to Carrick and McKenna to continue doing the coaching. And they failed to do that too. Ralph have come into, and he has left the responsibility to this guy from MLS too, And that's what the problem is. With Tim Hag, you're going to see a guy there that actually is doing the coaching himself. To begin with his coaching one, he will set it up, he will be on the 20 page, and he will be drilling these guys time and time again for them to get right. Next season, I promise you not. You're going to see players, especially like attackingly, when one player have the ball, you're going to see players literally know exactly what they want to do. If we concede goals, we're going to be making mistakes like where your goalkeeper is making a mistake because they made a back pass and then he done that, or defensively. You know how the third goal was when Lindelof kind of like gave the ball away. That is a kind of like mistake that you're going to be seeing next season. But you will not come there and see players literally struggling in terms of like positioning says where today, for example.
I think everyone will understand what their role is. Will be a lot more structured.
They will not be confused whether they are supposed to press or hold position. That stuff will not happen. See that goal that we scored, the first goal we considered again today, where Maguire was caught in no man's land because players were dropped from the position. You are not going to be seeing those kind of, because it's not the first time. Atletico Madrid, we concede exactly the same. We concede exactly the same goal. We've been conceding that kind of a goal a lot of the time where players are dropped. But under a new manager, you will not see that because he will drill these players on where to be in positions, man. And that's one of the reasons why we are looking forward to next season, man, because the coaching, forget the managers, the coaching has been worse. Burnley could have gone on there today and literally played it simple, where they will pass their bus, players will not move out of position and try to grind out of the result. What we saw today was a disastrous, man.
And this is it. So for me, I feel like we've hit like rock bottom. I know we've finished lower on the table, and there's still time for us to finish lower on the table, to be honest. But I just feel like the only way is up with I could be speaking too soon, but I feel like the only way is up because we're so bad, not because I'm super confident that we're going to be, setting the world alight next season. I just feel like because we've been so bad, are probably one of our lowest points tallies in a season ever. I feel like the only way is up for improvement. And I do also feel like because we haven't been coached properly over the last, even since Jose Mourinho, because Jose Mourinho was a guy.
The last guy to actually proper coach this guy was LVG. Because under LVG, you could tell this players knew exactly. Well, he was
boring, but
players look good, bro.
Yeah,
his players was looking good in that team, bro.
I remember his football was boring, but it was well structured. He knew what he was doing.
Right, bro.
Mourinho to an extent as well, because he's a part of the bus guy. We know about him, and that's what we got to an extent. We got part of the bus, but in terms of developing guys, we haven't really seen that from Mourinho. We saw that from LVG. We didn't see that from Mourinho. But Mourinho had this style of play and he implemented it and he got himself trophies.
Jose never coached in terms of like attacking passes. He never did that. He just knew how to set them up like they were set up.
Yeah, just counter-attack.
Counter-attack.
So improvement of individual players that we're saying that, or Rashford, or do you know what I mean? Whoever, Greenwood or Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, we can't really be sitting there thinking too critical because Mourinho's not that type of guy to do that. He finds already made guys and he hits the ground running and he gets what he wants and runs. And then, what do you call it? On Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we all know about that. And LVG is coming to light that, you know what? I don't think he's that guy that we thought he was. You know what I mean? So this Ten Hag appointment, I can see why it's so crucial and so critical and why there was so much emphasis on, making sure that they got it right. Because this is a guy that is shown that he can coach. And do you know what I mean? And I just hope that the next step is now, can he translate that to this Manchester United players? Because Ralph Rangnick is already sitting there thinking, you know what? These guys are not following the instructions. He's already kind of said that already, like these guys, the physicality is not there, the work rate is not there.
They just cannot do what he wanted to do because that's not how they play. They are following instructions, but it's just because they cannot do that kind of stuff. That's why they are failing, bro. That's why they are.
And whenever we go to like a different formation outside of four at the back, we just look very, very, very like vulnerable. Do you know what I mean? Whenever we try this 3 at the back or 5 at the back or whatever, we always end up having to revert more time back to a 4 at the back. So because we're just too uncomfortable.
Today, what was it? I remember Saka playing left back, bro. You could not make it up, bro.
And Delo right back.
Could not make it up, bro. I remember Saka ended up playing left back, left back. And it was terrible. Like Delo was getting eaten, he was lost. I don't even know. And Aaron Bissaka as well. Like, it's just our fullbacks, our defense is washed. Our midfield, we ain't got a midfield. Clearly, we complain about Scott McTominay and Fred a lot of the time, but without them, our midfield's washed. Matic, he was doing some small glimpses of stuff that I liked, but do you know what I mean? He's clearly past it. We need like 2-3 midfielders, especially if Pogba goes. We really do need like 2-3 midfielders. It's imperative that we get 2 or 3 midfielders in this club, bro, because Matic has already said that he's cutting. Pogba's going to be cutting. Mata's going to be cutting. And all of the Lingard's going to be cutting. Cavani's gone. Martial's potentially going. And Man United is talking about, Ralph Rangnick came out and said, we need more than, the 3 or 4 players or whatever. Like we need quite more than that. I'm starting to think Man United's going to get a war chest under Ralph Rangnick. I'm thinking that Manchester United is going to get anything between 150 and 200 million. Because if Man United are considering trying to bring in anything more than 3 or 4 players, we're going to need, and Ten Hag's going to need that backing in order to do so. But what's your thoughts? What would you say? Sorry.
In terms of the transfers, do you feel like, obviously, Ten Hag in his interview with Sky Sports was saying that, Manchester United need a few players, right? More than 4 players.
I know, you know what? I heard about with me. Here is what I stand by. You can bring so many players. I don't know whether United have had the time to scout the players that the right profile of players that Ten Hag needs. That's number one. That's my number one worry. And I don't want a situation where we are going out there and getting players just for the sake of players, where we are not getting like the first choice or second choice, and we are kind of like getting like the third choice because we feel like we need a lot of bodies to come in it. You know, if you're gonna get that many players, make sure that when these players come inside, they go 70% more chance of fitting inside. And one of the ways that you can do it is that you know that in terms of like the position, they are the best of the best at it, like in Europe, where that because of the lack of Champions League, we're not going to do that. Number two is, can they be used to the Premier League? For example, if you are buying like a DM for the Premier League, you know, and you know they're already doing in the Premier League, when you buy it, you're not going to be worried about whether they can keep up with like the intensity or the physicality of the Premiership, because you know they are already doing that too. You know, so that's the thing. It's like, what do you call it? This guy Diaz. Liverpool have been scouting him for like a year and a half now. It's not like they just went there to go get him.
Liverpool be getting their number ones. Liverpool be getting their number ones. They take their time.
Scouting this guy.
Alisson, Van Dijk, Diaz, Fabinho. These guys are the number ones.
They scout them for a very long time. So even if they don't get them like in a particular window, they wait and they go back again to go get them. Van Dijk, they scouted Van Dijk for a very long time. Remember, they tried to get him this summer. They couldn't get him this summer. And they went back again in January to do that too. Same thing too with, with Diaz too. And that's what you do when you have the proper scouting and stuff in place. You scout these players for a very long time that when they come, you know that they are right. So if we are going to sign 4 or 5 players, make sure that these players, when they come in, one, they go like all the attributes to, you know, first of all, to fit the manager's style and also be up to scratch with the Premier League, you know? And that's what it is, because when it don't work, when you sign about 4 or 5 players and 3 of them don't work, then this is where the club then go back into that mode where we have seen them from time and time again, when new managers are coming and signing through, and when it don't work, they don't want to replace them because they feel like, we just signed this player for this particular position. LVG done it when his first transfer window, he went to go sign like about 4 or 5 players. They came in and 3 or 4 of them didn't work out. And the club didn't want to replace them too. Jose too done the same thing too. He went there to go sign centre backs who, and at the end of the day, he signed centre back from Spain, Eric Bay and stuff like that. Yeah. They couldn't fit it, and the club didn't want to replace it, you know. But if you took your time and you scouted and you had the right profile, then we could have probably get it right.
Yeah, I think our approach has been very scattergun. Do you know what I mean? When we're having like, I know it's good to prepare and plan, but we have like 4 or 5, we have like 4 different, certain times you have like 4 different options. And so, you know, certain times you would say, you know, it's good to have your plan B, whatever, plan C. But when you're missing out on your first option all the time, which we've been doing, it's not good. Then it becomes like a scattergun approach and you end up just getting someone else for the sake of it because you've got a gaping hole in a position that you need filled. So we're pressured to get someone. Like Maguire was a pressured signing. We didn't really like take that time to really scout the market like we should have. We just thought, you know what, he's played in the Prem, Leicester, he's looking good, let's go and spend the money. Wan-Bissaka as well, apparently we scouted high and wide, but at the end of the day, we ended back in Premier League just choosing Wan-Bissaka. And we really needed a right back as well. So I felt like our decision making has not been based off, okay, look, now we've got a centre back. Now we're being linked to as a centre back now, right? Some are saying it's that Ajax, you know, centre back, you know, that might be coming in, the young one. Manchester United, for me, I can't think really where we've needed like a centre back where we've got cover. Yeah, we're not as Maguire's bad, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, Manchester United could equally go and say, you know, I'm going to play Varane, I'm going to play Lindelof and leave out Bailly. Like we're not desperate. Like, you know what I mean? We can go out and get a DM. We can go out and maybe get a striker and call it a day. Hopefully Varane stays fit and Lindelof stays fit. But we can improve in all areas.
Lindelof can go.
But of course. I'm not saying that, but it's just like with Maguire, I felt like we really needed, like it was so bad. And then on top of that, we slapped him with the captaincy. Like our team at that time was so bad. Do you know what I mean? And with the right back, it was only Aarons from Norwich and Wan-Bissaka. Like it just felt like it was desperate. I thought Manchester United this time around, I'm hoping that like we can look at a guy and say, you know what, this guy suits the style of play. This guy fits the profile. This guy wants to play with his heart on his sleeve. This guy's head's in it for the right reasons. Do you know what I mean? And then
So, first, in
the right
terms
guys.
of with the signings too, yeah. One thing that I also heard was that United, we haven't really been using our scouting like that. And if you dip it to majority of the players, and you know what, Woodward, yeah, he need to answer for his crimes too. What I heard was because if you realize, for example, yeah, most of our players that we have signed, they have been recommended to us by our agent, Mendes, who is Ronaldo's agent. We signed a lot of players from him. If you don't remember, and too, we signed a lot of players from these two agents. But man, look at that: Ibrahimovic, Pogba, Mkhitaryan, and who was even Sanchez too. Like Sanchez was a Mendes one too. We signed so many players from this one. You know, and we sign players based on what agents recommended to us. Even Rafael Varane, we only signed him because his agent, we were looking for centre back. Rather than us going out there to be scouting, his agent approached us. Like, look, my client would like to come to United, and the United went in to go buy him. Tell us too, same thing. We wanted a left back. His agent approached us, and then we went in for him, back, man. And that's what happens, bruv. That's what Woodward has been doing. That's
they
what
just get pushed to us.
Scouting.
Yeah.
Right. We don't do proper scouting to actually know exactly what we want. All these players have been players that have been offered to us by their agents. So that's why most of the time when you in the newspapers and we are being linked to players and agents are pushing their players onto us, they are more likely to end up at United because the club just feel like, oh, you know what, we need a left back. It's like, okay, then here, I go a left back then, and they go on and sign him without thinking to the post like, is this guy going to fit what we are looking for? They don't see that. They only see like, oh, you know what, this is a quality left back from Europe, and then we just need to sign him because everybody's after him. And that's what the problem is, man.
But that's the struggle though, because like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't have a set vision in terms of like.
It wasn't from Ole. It was Jose Mourinho time, buff.
Even with Jose Mourinho's style is like, you know what? He's got the ability to say, you know, I'm gonna choose this player, but I'm gonna get a result out of these guys. With Mourinho, like, to be fair, we bored him because the seasons where he finished with what, like 80 points or whatever like that. Do you know what I mean? He's finished like with a lot of points, and we're looking at it like, you know, and a bad season, like, if you're lucky, bro, Man United could be winning the league with them type of points. Obviously not now City and Liverpool on the madness, but he's one of those guys, Mourinho, I can say, do you know what? He was crying out for mad centre-backs, old guys, but I know that he's going to get something out of these guys. When you're looking at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's got no vision.
How do you buy a guy centre-back when in every single window, he signed a centre-back? His first window, he signed Eric Bailly. The next following season, he went to sign Victor Lindelof. I'm sorry, but if I'm an owner, I would treat him the same too. Why? I gave you two different, but we are not City. We don't have that money lying around like that where we can just do those kind of like stupid stuff. Before you respect, Liverpool ain't gonna do that. You know the club that you are coming to before you go there and just be rushing to just get any player, bruv, or saying yes to any player, bruv. Know the club, and this is one thing that the new manager Tim Hag, when he's coming to, I'm pretty sure he will learn his thing. When people are throwing players on you, don't just say yes, because if you say yes and it doesn't work here, you don't get a replacement, bruv. You should know that, bruv.
But he started Bailly, right? But it's just Bailly's injury record was just atrocious, right?
And
but
then he went to go replace him with Lindelof, bruv.
And Lindelof is still a good signing because Lindelof is still being played now every single game.
Physical, he wasn't at the time when he was getting Lindelof. United was also in for Van Dijk, but then and this is what I tell you, we were in for Van Dijk and we're in for Lindelof, and we ended up going for Lindelof because again the agent recommended us, and we stopped going for the guy that was in the Premiership. We could have some what do you call it?
I don't think we would have got Van Dijk, bro.
You can go and do the research. We could have done that.
Van Dijk was never coming to us, bro. You know what it is? I feel like Mourinho spotted the issue early. He just went back. Like, I know that Manchester United don't operate in that way like City does. But at the end of the day, right, Man United's been doing things the wrong way. Look, Man United has been doing things consistently with the recruitment and the backing for a very long time in the wrong way. But yet Man United and us fans want different results. We've got to do something differently. We've got to be able to say, you know what, get your recruitment right the first time. Or if you get those recruitments wrong, you better be prepared to back. If you don't plan, you're gonna be, planning to fail. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be on it. You gotta be able to correct your mistakes ASAP, bro.
And friends, and this is why I say in the summer, if we sign just 2 players here, I wouldn't be mad at it, because I would feel like it will be 2 players that they will have probably had time to scout and know that when they come inside, it will fit. Like we need a DM. I don't know, people talk about, oh yeah, Declan Rice. Honestly, I will go get a player like Declan Rice, because I know if he come there, he's already done it. He's doing it in the Premier League. He is doing it in there. And when he come there, I feel like he's a guy that Tim Hag will like. But if he's not the guy and you want a different DM too, go and first of all, try and find that kind of player. And that's why we've been linked to Kevin Phillips too. He's very good passing. He's very aggressive too. Get these kind of like guys first, before, if you cannot find them in a Premiership, I would say if you cannot find them in a Premiership, then look elsewhere. But if you're going to go elsewhere too, go get them guys that you know that they are quality. For example, what do you call it? Chomini, but quality. If you get him, he's more likely to what do you call it, to fit how you want to play, because that's how good they are. But if they're not that quality, just don't go sign any guy just to make sure that they come, because it doesn't work like that. Especially when you are buying them to throw them straight into the deep end. You buy a DM, they have to go straight into the team, and they literally they don't have like an adjust time. They just need to go there and make sure they literally get up to speed. And who better to get up to speed than a guy who was already in the Premier League, So
look, well, we've got Arsenal next game. We've got Chelsea after that. It's 2 big games as well. It's not getting any easier. Obviously, the banter and the rivalries with Arsenal. We know a lot of Arsenal fans historically, and you know what? We're both out of form. But I really, truly just hope that we can get something from this. My heart is telling me, my head's telling me that we're gonna lose this. My heart's like, we need to just get something out of this, even if it is a draw. But obviously, it'll be good if we can win this, because it's not looking good. We all got tough games, but Manchester United, we've got back-to-back challenging ones, and ones that are directly impacting on our sort of top 4 or top whatever finish. So, we're going to be back here again on Saturday, giving our analysis on that, and let's just hope with Arsenal that we've got something good to say, man. But with each game that goes by, anyway, it's just one less game, where we've got to suffer pain.
We're getting close to the end, man. We're getting close to the end, so that's what I'm is about, getting close to the end, slowly, bro.
But let's wrap this up, NK, man. Look, we've given our thoughts, guys. You've heard our opinions. Bro, it's getting harder and harder each time we're on this vlog, man. Just trying to give our opinions, because we ain't got nothing good to talk about. It's always bad news. Even when we win, even against Norwich, it's just
the worst thing too, man. Friends. After we got had 4-0 too, it just broke. Like Haaland is coming to Man City, bro.
500k, so like it just goes from bad to worse. But for me, I'm just like, bro, like, yeah, I don't even know what's gonna happen with this Man United's future, bro. It's going from bad to worse, bro. It's going from bad to worse. And you know what? I'm just, one step at a time. Just get to the end of the season, one step at a time, bro. But anyway, till next time, NK, man. Guys, peace.
Peace.